Hello, and welcome back to our channel. This video was recorded during our launch event in 2023. It features a meaningful conversation between a doctor, a social worker, and two of our amazing co-founders, sharing why culturally sensitive support is so important in our communities. We hope you find it very insightful. Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. And do not forget to subscribe and share this video with others who might benefit. As always, thank you for your continued support.
It is such a blessing to have something like this. As a doctor who works in the ER and sees pretty much most of the people who get diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, especially when they first hear the news. I'm sometimes there as the person giving the news, and sometimes I see an Ethiopian name next to like DKA and then an Ethiopian name. And almost always when I go and speak with the families, they're devastated, but that's usually not shared with the other physicians. I think as Ethiopians, they're just kind of feeling it. They don't even know where to start to communicate. And so I highly appreciate this organization. And I always felt that, especially with something like a chronic illness, as a doctor, I don't have as much insight as parents who've gone through the same road. And so I really value this organization. And I think it's probably the most helpful thing for Ethiopian and Eritrean families who have similar culture and especially similar diets. And so I just wanted to kind of, one, say that. Two, I find that sometimes families don't feel comfortable talking to their doctors. And I hope that this forum will allow families to be able to kind of articulate what they're trying to say and try to get some help. I've heard of families maybe even managing diabetes on their own without the help of the resources available to them. I actually did train at Emory as well, at CHOA. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't know CHOA's resources, but I'm pretty sure similar to the one at Children's, where they have a 24-hour diabetic nurse to answer questions. And I tell families at the beginning, you don't need to know everything about diabetes and how to manage it. I wouldn't know everything if I had a child now and I'm a doctor. And so that's the other thing, is just being able to articulate your thoughts and your concerns and being able to use the resources available to you. And then probably the most important one that I touched is families feeling vulnerable and saying, I don't know and I need help. And this especially goes to, like, I wouldn't say especially, but I would say even fathers saying, I need help, like, or this is overwhelming. Even sharing that is how you can get more help. And so I think those are the main points. And then the other thing, just with any chronic illness, is it's always making sure that everybody who's taking care of the kid is aware of what's happening and being taught about it. And I know that in our community, just based on my experience, there is that confusion about type 1 and type 2. And these are some of the questions that I have. They're like, oh no, but if my child takes insulin right now, they're going to get addicted to it, or like they're not going to stop. And so all of those things are, like, I think, educations that we need to have, because most people in our community are aware of type 2, but type 1 is not as common, so people don't know enough about it. And so just the education for that. So anyways, I don't want to say too much more, but I think those are my thoughts. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dr. Iman. I mean, everything that you just touched, it is pretty much on point. Like I said, I'm a mother of 2 type 1 diabetics, and when my son was diagnosed at just 2 years old, my mom said, you know what, all he needs is just some holy water. He's fine. Don't give him any insulin. And it's hard because our community, we don't talk about our illness. We think it's a taboo, as if we have caused it, I just recently found out, a friend of mine that I went to school with, high school, who have a child of her own, that she's type 1 diabetic. And I didn't know that for over 30 years because she was told not to mention it to anybody. Can you imagine if she was in DK, passed out when we were together? I wouldn't have known what to do. So yes, I mean, this is the main reason why we're doing this, to educate our community. We need to let them know, hey, it's okay. It is overwhelming when you leave that hospital because you're all in shock and fears, and you don't know the same medication that could help him could also hurt him, you know? And thank God we have technology, advanced technologies here. And when my daughter was diagnosed at 9 months, almost 9 months old, I mean, if I was back home, you know, we are fortunate enough to have all this medical support up here. And the whole idea is, how can we help people back home, you know? So if anybody want to share your little story, let's talk about it. If you have any questions, and hopefully we could answer them or just link, connect. So say something, don't be shy.
Sanye, I want to add on what Dr. Iman touched. So when my daughter was diagnosed, I'm sure, because we couldn't hear the entire record when it was transmitted earlier, but my daughter, I have a 4.5-year-old daughter. She was diagnosed when she was 3, and she did go into DKA. Some of you don't know what DKA is a condition where there is too much glucose in your blood, and because of that, your blood becomes very acidic, which end up damaging your organs and all that kind of stuff. So she did go into that. She did not have any complication, thank God. But one of the things you touched on, Dr. Iman, was about how our community understand how to process the whole thing. So when I was, looking back, the hardest part of this journey was when we were in the hospital. Because when my daughter was in there, we have to regulate our emotion, we had to comfort her. On top of that, the hospital staff want you to take this intensive education, how to check her blood, how to give her injection, and then how to do the carb calculation. I'm not a math person, so that part was so bad. So the first educator was she was not nice, so I actually had to I requested them if I get another educator, then it really worked out well. But one of the things when I look back at the whole process, one of the things that really bothers me until today is that how our community, Eritrean, Ethiopian communities who doesn't speak English, how are they going to understand all this carb calculation, all this information? I don't know. I'm hoping this 50 Lemons would step in to assist in those communities if they decide to come up front and look for that help. But that's one of the things that until today, again, it bothers me how people understand that carb calculation, if it was confusing and very stressful for me and my husband. So I wanna say that we hope to see people start to come forward to get that assistance.
Hi, my name is Mai. I'm a diabetes social worker at Children's National Hospital. I just wanted to give my sincerest thank you to Hannah and her organization. We have benefited greatly from Hannah. We have received so much material, resources to give families, including the Facebook group, including visual carb counting materials, as well as visual nutrition resources, specifically in Amharic and for Ethiopian foods. We have many families that come through our doors diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. I would say every 2 weeks, we have a new family diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. We have JDRF, which is a common group that we refer families to, but it's important to have a cultural specific group to ensure that families can feel comfortable. And in all honesty, I have been with Nadia Merchant going around into patients' rooms, including Ethiopian families. And it was Nadia who introduced me to Hannah. And I love the way Dr. Nadia Merchant spoke to our families. Many families think they're scared. They think hopefully this disease will go away. Can we treat this disease naturally? There's a lot of questions, but Dr. Nadia Merchant was able to just be so sensitive to the families and be able to explain kindly, let's go with insulin. Let's do this first. And that type of cultural sensitivity is so important. And I feel like Hannah has really been an instrumental piece to how we can be more sensitive to culture and to our families. And so I really wanted to thank you. I know that Hannah and I will probably be in touch to make sure that we can share resources with one another. But I wanted to give my sincerest thank you to starting a group for Ethiopian families so that we can take care of Ethiopian families in a kinder way, in a more compassionate way, and in a more culturally sensitive way when they're first diagnosed.
I do have one ask. As a physician, I don't work all the time. So there are times where there will be Ethiopian families that are being diagnosed. And I know that they will go eventually, Amai is going to be a social worker and they will see somebody. But if families that have kind of experienced, if people can kind of look back at, the first time they were diagnosed, what kind of information will be helpful and what they would like and to do, I would love to hear that and see if we can work with Hannah and 50 Lemons to try and get that to families. I was not aware that we have a family every 2 weeks. That's a lot. And so I really do think that, we can start that whole, supporting families in the ED, because there are times that families are sitting in the ED for like hours waiting on a bed. And so if there are resources that we can create that will be helpful to families early on, I think that's something that this group can do.
Looking back, when my son was diagnosed, keep in mind I was 38 weeks pregnant with my daughter, and I just thought it was something that I caused it, and I was just asking myself questions, what could I have done differently to prevent it? And I think I was depressed and sad the whole 6 months. If I wish this Facebook group was created back then. I think hearing from somebody you own to tell you, hey, you know what, you're not alone, he's gonna be okay or she's gonna be okay. Just somebody that is walking in that path. Because when you first get that, to tell you, I'm sorry, your kid have a chronic illness, because he just thinks they're gonna die. You don't really think about, hey, there is, insulin, there is all these electronics, technology that's gonna help him manage it, So I think that is what I would love to have, because they drill you with so many information, and within that 3 days they want you to practice with just syringe and all that is too much. So just having somebody to a family to reach out, I think that would be amazing if that was possible.
Those are great suggestions. No, thank you so much. Yes, we have a book. We give binders to newly diagnosed families, but that is in English, and I know it's translated in Spanish, but I think that having materials for Amharic families is very important. And so I think we can do better to organize those materials better within our department. So I will look into that.
This Facebook group was actually created because we have this another Habesha Moms group that is for both Eritrean and Ethiopian. And we normally just talk about being a mom and, stuff to do for the kids, advice, whatnot. But about 4 or 5 years ago, somebody posted it saying that she was depressed, she was sad because she thought her son was going to die. And that's when me and Hannah decided to do this support group. And I know Hannah is amazing, especially in Atlanta, reaching out to families. I mean, she get calls from left to right. So, and I wish if we could just have in different states, because, I don't mind talking to random stranger people. I've done it. So I think that would be amazing.